Hey guys, this is Kevin. Today I'm here with Abby. We have a treat for you. We're going to cover 0xC1 Air.
Hey guys, it's Abby. I was working on this printer and I got a 0C1 error, which I looked up, said it could be a cable disconnection or mainboard failure is a couple of options. And when I opened up that printer scanner, I had seen that there was that small FFC cable that was disconnected. So my first course of action is going to be to go ahead and take off that fax cover and take off that scanner. So here I am taking off those, unscrewing those two screws from the top of the scanner and those two screws on the back of that fax cover. Then I can go ahead and take the wires that are connected with the scanner off of the main board.
We're working on WF 3640. It's the same thing for 3620. I'm going to put a link above about the detailed how to uncasing it, how to remove the scanner, and I'll let you figure out how to put it back.
Then I can unscrew the 7 screws from the top of that cover. And here's where I took off that top cover, and this is where I could get to that small FFC cable there.
Just in case you wondered, FFC means I think it's flat flexible cable. You can see this cable got pulled out.
So I'm going to go ahead and stick that down on the top of the main board to let it follow along to where it plugs in at the top of that main board.
Most of the time, those are low voltage cables. Most of the time, the error is because you're like somehow ripped cable when you're moving other stuff, or most likely it's the connection points.
And I'll follow my steps backwards. Go ahead and put the top of that top cover back on. And once it's in place, I'll go ahead and put the 7 screws, holding it back in place, putting that hinge back on too, and screwing that hinge back in place to help hold the scanner down. And then we'll put the scanner on top and work on feeding the through.
If you ever need a FFC cable, you can go to bchtechnology.com and go to printer parts, electronic board and assembly. And on the left side, you can see their selection set FFC flexi cable. And all you need to do is match up the pin number, and if it's a double cable or single cable, and the length. And when you do this part, make sure the big FFC cable from the scanner is not ripped. Otherwise, you're fixing a small FFC, but you broke the bigger FFC.
I'll connect all my wires and my FFC cable and screw in my ground wire. And then I can go ahead and put on that fax cover.
Oh, did I tell you take a picture before you disconnect any cables? Okay, so if you cannot figure out which cable go where, let me show you how. Go back to bchtechnology.com and in the search bar type in WF 3640. And you're going to see a file called a workflow sheet for Epson Workforce install mainboard. And this one will have a the connection chart for the whole mainboard. So if you cannot figure out how to put it back, this document will help you.
And screw on that fax cover with the 2 screws. And then the 2 screws going down on top of the scanner.
And just you think it's about done.
Alright, so I went ahead and I turned on the printer, and I still got the 0C1 error. So I began to think that it could possibly be the main board, so I went ahead and I took everything back down to switching out the main board, and that's where I saw that these 3 FFC cables weren't even plugged in. And I didn't see this before because these were under the LCD panel. And if you remember, I only took off the top cover. I didn't even take off the side cover, the LCD panel, so I hadn't seen that in the first part. So here I am, I'm just plugging that back in and just putting it all back together like I did in the earlier part of the video, and I'm turning the printer back on. So I'm going to see if this works. And all in all, I originally had thought that it was a cable disconnection, and then I thought again that when it pulled the error back up again, that I thought maybe it was a mainboard failure. So I went back and I was going out to change the mainboard failure, and I still saw that it was a cable disconnection error. So here we are. I opened up the printer and I wanted just to see if the frame was going to be moving back and forth, just so I could watch. I went ahead and sped that part up so we could see at the end, and it came out saying that I would need to go ahead and do a print nozzle check, but it worked.